PW Insider reported that Becky Lynch, yes, the man Becky Lynch, visited the Performance Center this week as part of her training for an eventual return to the ring. The report was corroborated by Fightful Select, who specified that the former Raw Women's Champion was at the WWE Performance Center on Thursday and was working in the ring. They cite multiple sources saying that Lynch was looking jacked and was looking like she had never been before. So she's ready, I think, for an in-ring return. Several female superstars also reportedly noted that they were hopeful that Lynch's imminent return to WWE would likely mean a significant improvement in their booking. Lynch has not been on WWE programming since announcing her pregnancy last year. So, Trevor, the man Becky Lynch is returning to the ring. We assume it's going to happen sometime around between when they return on touring and SummerSlam.
Right.
When Becky Lynch returns to action, what does this mean for WWE?
It means that, one, your ratings are going to go through the fucking roof because you have the most, like I said, the over wrestler in the past 10 years back on your show, your program. Becky Lynch, everything Becky Lynch touches at this point is money. Becky's promos are good. Becky's in-ring performance is good. Becky Lynch helped make that SmackDown and Raw feud a few years back. Like, if it wasn't for her accidentally getting her nose busted, and it wouldn't have been great TV. It was great TV. Seeing this crazy woman walk through the ring with blood dripping down her face, like beating everyone's ass, was what you wanted to see. It was what you wanted to see. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, she's nothing but a female Stone Cold." Okay, so what? It's like,
she's
I don't
Becky
see
Lynch.
anything bad.
That's one thing I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's the one thing she has a Stone Cold like effect. I will say this.
Right.
She has a similar type of vibe in her mentality and how over she is. Like Becky Lynch, like, look, I'm gonna say it very, very clearly. Once Becky Lynch returns to WWE, doesn't matter whether she's on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or WWE main event, she is the most over person on that roster day one. It's not even a debate. You hear that, whoa, it's over. Like, she's gonna get the same pop as Stone Cold does when she gets that glass broken. But other than that, dude, Becky Lynch herself is Becky Lynch. Thank you.
Becky Lynch is Becky Lynch.
We're gonna be talking 10 years from now. Oh my God, this superstar gives me big Becky Lynch vibes. Like, she's been able to successfully do that. She's a bit of a crossover star. She was selling merch like crazy. Like, there was a time where Becky Lynch was outselling everybody on merch by a mile. And we can talk about like the whole thing of like how much she's getting paid and all that, because I do think if you look at the numbers of how much she's getting paid to some other people comparatively to how much she's bringing in, it's kind of atrocious how little she's getting paid that we know of.
I think I remember looking at those numbers. It was pretty
she should if there was any justice, if there was any true justice in this world, Becky Lynch would be getting paid more than Nick Khan, because she probably does more for that company than Nick Khan does. Regardless, though, Becky Lynch, when she returns, is going to be the most over person on that roster, and they have to be able to capitalize on it. No matter and here's the thing, she's someone you could do hokey stuff with her on Raw, it'll still get over because Becky Lynch is doing it. Like, even when Stone Cold wasn't doing some of the worst stuff of his career, like the Kumbaya, my lord, with heel Stone Cold in 2001.
He was still over,
He was still over like Rover. So you can do things with Lynch like that. Please don't don't do hokey stuff. The thing is, like, people ask, like, what should they do when she returns? Immediately, day one, she's the champion. Yeah. You build it up to WrestleMania 38, Becky Lynch again, main eventing WrestleMania, winning the belt. That's what you do, because
they probably won't do that, but that's what they should.
Oh, they should. They 100% should.
They definitely should.
If what you care about is money, Why not take the biggest draw you have in your company, signed on your roster right now, in Becky Lynch, and build a big storyline to your biggest event of the year and draw money? Like,
Oh, I don't disagree with you. Let's get that clear. I don't disagree with you, but I also don't believe that that's what they're gonna do. Like, I mean, they might surprise me. They might surprise me, and I hope they do. But I just, at the current state WWE is in the way they work, I don't see that happening.
Someone in the chat just said, "Put her on SmackDown on Fox." Yo, yes. If there's any justice, she would be on the best show. But I think, having her on WWE's SmackDown might actually take away from her, because I think you'd be fitting too much on SmackDown in 2 hours. I think she has to be on Raw, because that show, first of all, that show needs a boost the most.
It does.
Secondly, it'll give her.
You still have Bianca Belair. If you still have Bianca Belair on SmackDown,
thank you.
It takes away from Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
So
now, I think so too. I think that, someone in the chat also just said Bianca Belair versus Lynch at WrestleMania in Dallas. Yes.
Book it.
I would like that. Book it. I would like to see that. I would totally like to see that.
But that would be an interesting one, because Becky is a tweener. She's definitely a tweener when it comes to it. But I don't know if Bianca has had enough exposure with this character yet to deal with that.
I mean, look, I think it would be a very similar thing with. I know we go back to the Stone Cold comparison a lot, but it's not really indicative of like who these two are as like performers. It's more indicative of like how over they are, I would say.
Right.
Like there's a little bit they've done like, storylines with two people who aren't necessarily baby faces or whatever, or two baby faces even in WrestleMania. Like you could do like like they did it with The Rock and Stone Cold 3 times, and both of them were over. No matter who was playing the heel, both of them were over, and it worked. If you find a way to do this, whether Becky Lynch wins the Rumble and challenges Bianca Belair, whatever, it's going to work. But at the end of the day, you either build to a feud with Becky Lynch winning the title at Mania 38. If you're not going to do that, put the title on her immediately. Put the belt on her immediately. Like it's not even close. Like,
because Becky versus Ripley saves Ripley's career.
Yeah. Oh, God, man. I feel for. These are such good people. They have so many good people, and they don't know how to use them.
Exactly. And again, it's not saying that Ripley's a terrible wrestler. Don't get me wrong. I like Ripley. I do. It has nothing to do with her. She is great. She's money. Charlotte, when she's better and not whiny, she's money. But right now, they're just not using them correctly. So honestly, if when Becky comes back, if Ripley still has that belt, Ripley Becky. Great match.
Yeah. And look, nobody is more excited about Becky Lynch's return than I am. Like I love Becky Lynch. The idea of Becky Lynch returning actually does give me goosebumps. And I'm kind of, it's weird because the comparisons to Austin and Lynch, I think, are always going to happen. Not only because of how over they are and the promos and whatever, but also because, like, think about the paths that their careers have kind of taken. Lynch has this great moment at WrestleMania where the era of the man began, right? And then she has this period of time where she's out for a year. Very similar to what happened to Stone Cold about a year after he won the belt at WrestleMania 14, I believe it was. So
are we talking about when he won the belt, or when actually Austin 316 actually began? Because Austin.
No, I'm talking about when he. Okay. No, I'm talking about. Well, no, it's like Lynch had her Austin quoting her big moment when the nose was busted and everything. But, but I'm saying, like, they both had this stint of time where they were out, and I think after Stone Cold came back, it was very easy. He came back and immediately got rocketed to the moon, and he was the star of the company again. Do the same thing with Becky Lynch.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to do the same thing with Becky. If they don't do it,
they should. She's the Becky Lynch is the biggest star in your company. She's not even close. Draw. I love Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge that motherfucker. But Becky Lynch is, I'm sorry, a grade above Reigns. Even right now, she's the man. Like,
what she's done, like, it was so funny too because like what she's done when she turned heel, that was the biggest pop of cheers I've ever heard for a heel. Like honestly, I've heard a lot of cheers for a heel when she went out there with Charlotte and started beating the shit out of Charlotte and just became this heel in in front of our eyes. Everyone cheered her. They didn't boo her. They cheered her. Like, yes, finally, let Becky loose. Like, yes. Like, and that's pretty much what they did. They let the reins off Becky, and she has become this star. She believed in this character. She pushed this character. She cut the best promos out of anybody while she was doing these. She wrestled some of the best matches in her career, and she helped make some wrestlers better than what they were. Like Becky is money. Becky's one of the best wrestlers in the company.
And you know what else, Trevor? You know what? We say character a lot, right? But you know what the best thing is about Becky Lynch?
This is her.
It's her. It's not even that much of a character. It's just an exaggerated version of herself. Like the feud she had with Ronda Rousey, that was built almost exclusively on Twitter. Like and Becky Lynch, Rebecca Donaldson bodied Ronda Rousey on Twitter all those times.
It was she did. It was great. It was great.
And thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.